Hello everyone, welcome to the Income Tourism Project Final Conference, dedicated to contributing to the debate about the future of higher education in tourism and the role of cooperative learning. In this two-day conference, the key results from the Income Tourism Project will be presented, along with a discussion of the future of higher education in tourism, the main challenges and the advantages of closer cooperative learning between A's and businesses from different perspectives, namely students, academy, and businesses. Without further delay, I give the floor to Ana Paula Val, Vice President of Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo, IPVC, who is representing the President, who for personal reasons cannot be here with us, and Goretti Silva, Income Tourism Project Coordinator, to officially open this session. Welcome, Goretti and Ana Paula.
Good afternoon. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today for the final conference of Income Project, a project aiming at developing a new learning approach based on cooperative learning process, joining higher education institutions and tourism business, applied to soft skills learning to be incorporated in the last year of the tourism bachelor. We are very pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us throughout the project, having allowed the achievement of the objectives foreseen. And of course, I would like to welcome also all other presents at this conference. Today, it is the final conference of the project. However, all the work developed with the scope of this interesting partnership will certainly be a starting point for other initiatives, other ideas, other projects, allowing higher education institutions to continue to innovate in their teaching and learning methods. The Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo is very proud to be able to be part of this partnership. And we just feel very sorry that we cannot all be together in Viana do Castelo, a wonderful city in which I wish to invite all of you to visit, perhaps under a new project and without COVID pandemic. We will certainly have the future opportunity to toast with Vinho Verde from our region to new challenges in tourism framework. And I'd like to end by leaving you a wish and wish an excellent job during the interesting sessions that constitute the program of this conference. Thank you very much for your presence.
Good afternoon to all. Thank you, Ana Paula, for your introductory welcoming. And on behalf of the Income Project, I welcome you all as well to its final conference. Had this conference been in a world without COVID, as Paula just said, and we would be welcoming you as well to Viana, a great, lovely coastal town in the north of Portugal where IPVC is located. But given the circumstances which are imposed to us, we take the fact of being online as a positive outcome, as it gives us the opportunity to reach a wider audience and to expand our contribution. Therefore, I want to thank all of you who are now with us at this first session, but also to all of those who are and likely and will join us throughout these 2 days of conference, and those who will access visualizing our recordings, which will be made available at our website and on YouTube channel. As said before, we are at the final conference of a 3-year Income Project, an Erasmus Plus Knowledge Alliances initiative. And the conference aims at contributing to the debate about the future of higher education in tourism and the role cooperative learning can have on this. We'll be giving a clear idea throughout these 2 days of what cooperative learning is about and how we believe this approach can actually contribute to higher quality, higher employability of tourism students and to their better performance as young professionals. By bringing academia and industry together and combining theory and practice, cooperative learning has proved to be more efficient or has the potential to be more efficient in the development of the fundamental skills, namely soft skills, which are today and certainly in the future highly valued by employers in general and by the tourism industry in particular. But we have prepared a short video, and this will help you to understand what the project is about and what will be debated at this conference.
Over the last years, soft skills have played a critical role for young generations' employability in the context of the T&H industry. However, and despite the recognized importance of soft skills, there's a gap between what market needs and what European HEIs with tourism degrees actually offer. There is still the need and potential to bring academia and industry together in a new cooperative learning model to develop a curriculum focusing on soft skills and with learning outcomes adapted to the real, evolving, and demanding needs of the industry. This is the ultimate purpose of Income Tourism, a project funded by Erasmus Plus program, Key Action to Knowledge Alliances, which aims at developing and pilot a new learning approach linked to the development of soft skills and based on a cooperative learning process that brings together higher education institutions and businesses in the tourism industry. The project, coordinated by the Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo, comprises a consortium of 13 partners constituted by HEIs from 6 countries: Portugal, Spain, Italy, Malta, Germany, and Croatia, and by tourism businesses and tourism associations. Moreover, a group of associated partners was also identified by HEIs in each country as the businesses that will participate in the pilot test. Over the first 18 months, a detailed analysis of the state-of-the-art regarding tourism courses curricula and soft skills learning processes was conducted in each country. This involved face-to-face interviews, focus group discussions, and the application of questionnaires to current and former T&H students. The relevant soft skills for the T&H were identified. A list of 30 items was produced, 10 items per each of the 3 soft skills dimensions: conceptual, leadership, and interpersonal. In addition, it was concluded that HEIs need to step up and put soft skills at the forefront of their curriculum, and university business collaborative, work-based approaches should be employed as the context for learning soft skills. Based on these results, a new cooperative learning model inspired by the German dual system and including school and on-the-job training activities was developed by HEIs in close consultation with the companies. It aims at providing students academic knowledge complemented with workplace experience so that real-life situations immediately test the effectiveness of classroom theory and vice versa. Based on the research of 6 HEIs, the Income Tourism app has been developed to provide an overview of methods particularly suitable for the teaching of soft skills, to facilitate teaching by providing information for planning, and to inspire a diversified approach by highlighting a variety of teaching methods. To support the learning process during the pilot test, an open-access e-learning platform was also created. On the 6th June 2019, a model reflection workshop took place in Malta with all the project partners and managers of the associated partners. The workshop aimed to clarify the importance of an education model co-shared by the companies and mobilize the entrepreneurs to actively participate in the creation of the new learning system. According to the set of criteria, the process of selection of students and tutors and setup of the learning trios was developed. The preparation of the pilot test included the development of meetings and workshops in each country, with the target groups to present the instruments, rules and evaluation scheme for the students, roles of the tutors, timeline, and integration of school-based and work-based learning. The learning trios were established. During a pilot test in the academic year 2019-2020, selected students supported by in-company and HEI tutors began to experience the new cooperative learning model simultaneously in all the universities participating in the Income Tourism project. Students were integrated into companies to develop their soft skills qualifications in a real working context, supported by in-company tutors and HEI tutors. Together, the tutors worked on the curricula development, adapting to the specific needs of the business, and including soft skills to a greater deal. On March 12, 2020, the project organized a webinar, Perspectives on Dual Cooperative Education, to bring together representatives of the learning trios from each country for a reflective moment, aiming at identifying and discussing the benefits, but also the challenges felt during the pilot test. In March 2020, the learning trios of each country would travel to Ravensburg, Germany, for a week of mobility activities, during which participants from all participating countries would share their pilot experience so far, as well as to emerge in the German higher education dual system, maximizing the learning exchange. As the propagation in Europe of the coronavirus disease pandemic began in March 2020, conditioning the implementation of the pilot test and led to the cancellation of the mobility, the project had to adapt to the new circumstances. As such, students were challenged to work on a joint reflection with HEI and in-company tutors, focusing on the needs, problems, and challenges the business are facing, and ways to recover. In July 2020, the Income Tourism Project promoted a webinar, COVID-19, Reflections on Challenges for the T&H Sector, to present the challenges that the T&H sector is facing and ways to recover after COVID-19. The pandemic did not allow mobility to be carried out physically, and that is why we had to adapt to online activities. We promoted webinar series Skills for Today and Tomorrow, Tourism Education, Employability, and Industry University Cooperation. The project will create a memorandum of cooperation, an agreement signed by the HEIs and the companies, as well as by other stakeholders interested in dual systems in higher education, to establish a further plan of development of joint activities. Moreover, this agreement will foresee the creation of the European Forum for Dual High Education, to include other partners and other countries.
Hopefully you all got now a better picture of the project and about what we'll be covering. And hopefully you are also enthusiastic about staying with us, not only through the day, but also tomorrow, to follow and participate in the debate. Before leaving the room and give opportunity to our next contributions, the real contributions, I definitely want to take this moment to thank all those who actually made possible, not only the conference, but the entire project. And for that, I need to start with the European Commission, who actually provided the necessary funding to implement the research and networking. But most of all, I need to thank the entire Income team, a great team, I must say, enthusiastic and highly committed. And that includes the partners who joined IPVC in the consortium, but also the associated partners, businesses and businesses representatives, the students, the professors who participated in the pilot, and all those who contributed to our meetings and webinars throughout these 3 years and a half. These were many and from many countries, and their contributions and enthusiasm and their debate and sharing of ideas have enriched the reflections, have made possible the results of the project, and gave rise to the possibility of a better education in tourism in the near future. Thank you for the opportunity to take part in this adventure as coordinator, and it has been a challenge, but definitely a great pleasure. Thank you all, and I wish you a good day and insightful conference.
Thank you very much, Ana Paula and Goretti, for your words. We now move on to the next moment of this webinar, and I would like to welcome to Maria João Rauch from PPLEL Consult, who is going to present us the overall perspective about the project performance.
Espera aí, eu vou só tirar a tua câmera para não... Maria João.
Hello, good afternoon. I am not allowed to use the video. Okay. And I need to share my presentation.
Okay. A Maria João já pode falar. Ela supostamente tem o vídeo ligado, mas aparece tudo preto.
Pois, é.
Maria João? Ok, já está connosco.
Ok, pronto. E preciso partilhar.
Pode partilhar agora mesmo.
Posso? Ok, então deixa-me ver aqui. Ok, agora já está aqui. Certo. Consegue-se ver já? Conseguem ver?
Sim, Maria João, pode seguir, tudo perfeito.
Ok, pronto. Então, boa tarde a todos. É um prazer estar aqui convosco, embora não nos possamos tocar e quase não ver, mas de facto este projeto foi muito importante, na minha opinião, e por aquilo que nós podemos ver ao longo do desenvolvimento que se fez, porque veio provar que efetivamente este tipo de modelo de aprendizagem é um modelo que resulta. E, portanto, e o que também veio provar, e embora muito já tenha sido dito pela professora Goretti, mas aquilo que veio provar também foi que quando há vontade e quando há empenhamento, mesmo as dificuldades podem ser superadas. Portanto, é tudo fruto de uma colaboração efetiva. E isso viu-se na resiliência que a parceria mostrou ao ser confrontada com esta pandemia que alterou completamente algumas das etapas que o próprio projeto tinha que realizar.
Maria João, peço desculpa interromper. Tenho aqui a informação de que deve falar em inglês, por favor.
Ok, sorry.
Obrigado.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry. So I was switched. So I was saying that it's a pleasure for me to be here with all of you, and it has been a pleasure to work with you during this project. And after everything that was said already by Professor Goretti, it could be clearly seen that there was a very effective work, and that this project showed that this kind of model, of participative model in terms of learning, is an effective model. And also has showed that if there is commitment and if there is a spirit of partnership, difficulties can be overcome. So this was seen on the resilience that this project has showed when it was confronted with the pandemic, because as we know, one of the milestones, the more important milestones of the project, was exactly the meeting of all the trios in Ravensburg to have in loco some experiences with the other colleagues of the other countries. And this exactly was not possible because the pandemic began exactly in the moment in which it was planned to go to Ravensburg. And in spite of that, and this was 1 year ago, what we can see is that there was enough resilience to keep the project on track with changes, but results were achieved. So, as it was already said, I think it's PPLL had the role in the partnership of making the evaluation of the project. And since we have seen already everything that was done, and we have seen also in this movie that we could see in this short video, that one key element was the learning trios, in which we had the students with the tutors of the company and the tutors of the higher education organizations. So we decided to bring here on the evaluation exactly the results, because we think that this is the most important now. And what we can see here is that when we began the project, we said that our expectations on a short-term basis for our results were to have qualification of students with higher employability potential, to make an upskilling effect through this collaborative learning process, to establish a closer relationship between companies and academy, to establish these learning trios that we said already that were the key. And in the end, if this was resulting, then we would have margin to make a memorandum of cooperation that will result in future actions together. Let's see from this how this worked, and especially focused on the pilot test, because all the activities before the pilot test were leading to this pilot test, and it was the practice of the model. And what we can see in relation to the qualification of students and the higher employability potential was that the company's tutors, they have stated that the students that were in this system, that they revealed some more awareness in relation to what is the work challenges, and they have also showed an increasing capability to adapt and to overcome problems, what is not usual in early beginners. It means in students that finish their studies and enter the labor market. So these students were more prepared to face that. On the other side, they said that they also understood much better how a company works and how is the world of a company. So this model has helped the students to have a large intuitive knowledge of what happens inside one company, what helps them to have a better performance. When we go to the upskilling effect through this collaborative learning process, all the learning trios have considered that the students' soft skills were improved through this method of learning. And several soft skills were really developed. And for instance, from our surveys that we did of the evaluation, some that were mentioned as very important were the conceptual and creative soft skills. And well, I will not read all this, but this and leadership soft skills, as well as interpersonal soft skills. So, meaning that when we speak about this sector that is tourism, of course that and today in the morning in the webinar we heard to hear that these creative soft skills are more important than ever, because it's necessary to rethink all the tourism model after this incredible crisis and this pandemic situation. And leadership and interpersonal soft skills are naturally one of the key success factors of good tourism professionals. So, still in this upskilling effect, the students themselves, they found that they learned much more doing this duality company academy than if they would be only in their classes. And on the other side, they found very challenging that they had the opportunity to bring to their company where they were working exactly what they have learned in the classes, and they could apply this in the practice when they were working in the company. On the other side, from the academy tutors, what they have said was that the students understand that the theoretical background that they get in the school is important, but this is accompanied by a real perspective of the work environment. Then another achievement that we have was in relation to what was also one of our targets, a closer cooperation between the academy and the companies. And what we could see is that the overall cooperation is really improved, and every organization and the colleagues that were involved in this project, they all stated, and even in all the workshops that we had, that for sure this model have improved the cooperation, and they were satisfied in a way that measures were already taken to ensure the continuity of this cooperation. So in different ways, because of course realities and contexts are different, and there is not the possibility of one fits all. This is not possible, but of course that with the adaptations to each context, each one of the participants was taking the right measures to ensure continuity. During the pilot, so when they were asked during the pilot about these achievements of collaboration, the company tutors said clearly, and this is really remarkable because they are the people that are in the companies, and that very often we hear to say that they have no patience and they have no time for the students. So because this is not their main target. But in reality, what they have stated was that all this collaboration and that to have the students there was an added value, so for the system of learning. And more than that, they said that let's say the professors of the academy, the tutors of the academy, they also said that the feedback that they were getting from the tutors of the companies was really important to be incorporated in what they were doing in the classes. And so adapting and tailoring these learnings and the subjects more to the real needs of the companies. So then what was also achieved was the learning trios were set up, and we had in the project 48 learning trios. Of course, that we can see that we have different numbers of tutors, either in the company or in the academy, because of course we had more students, and some of the tutors were tutors of more than one student. But anyway, each student had to have one learning trio, so around him. So we had 48 learning trios because we had 48 students. Well, the memorandum of cooperation will be signed tomorrow, I think, tomorrow afternoon, in the end of the conference. Then, in terms of the long-term effects of this project, We wanted to achieve, with this new collaborative learning process, a decrease in the mismatch between what they learn and what companies need, and to increase the competitiveness of the sector by providing better services by better professionals, with the higher employability of the students, and a development of a joint tourism qualification among the partners. And then the European Forum for Dual Education that we saw already in the video that is being created. In relation to this joint tourism qualification, this was not possible. And we can understand why, because of course that this pandemic has affected the development that was aimed. But anyway, I would say that from our perspective, the basis is there. Because, as we said, all the tutors and the students were satisfied with the system. So the system proved to be effective and to be better than only a monolithic system in which there is learning only in one place. And for that reason, now that the partners are already taking measures to ensure the continuity, it will be easier to think about a new project in which this joint qualification can be the core thematic of that project. And this would be one recommendation from us. It would be to think about one project with this joint tourism qualification, even because we know that the European Commission is always fostering and promoting the idea of having qualifications that are recognized in different countries, because this is improving mobility inside Europe. That is one of the 4 freedoms of Europe. So, in this decrease of the skills mismatch, we already heard that the company tutor said clearly that the development of these skills were according to the needs of the company, so they felt that. And in relation to the employability, and this is really a very interesting point, because they said that this is a good support for the recruitment of the students, meaning that the company tutor said that since these students are exposed to the work environment and they see them performing, this leads to an assessment of their competencies in loco, and of course, can lead to future employment of these students. Well, having said that we could see that was mainly positive. We had also some challenges that were discovered and that need some attention to be overcome in this continuation. The first one is the administrative barriers of the universities, and as you know, because it's not easy to change curricula inside universities, and so there is the need of being a little bit more flexible in order to adapt the curricula really according to what is better. And on the other side, this is also related with a better conciliation in relation to the times that students are in the companies and are in the school. So this should be also seen in order that achievements are there, but on the other side, they can really have closer cooperation with both important actors in their learning process. So this is exactly these difficulties to conciliate this schedule. They had this difficulty. Then, in some cases, we heard about the work overload of the tutors, either from the company, either from the university, because exactly the system, we could see several times in Ravensburg that because the system is structured in a different way, there is not this problem. But in our case, because most of the time the tutors were doing this additionally to what they were already doing, because the system was not changed still, then this resulted in a overload. So again, I come to the barriers that are important to be removed in order that the system itself and this collaboration system can be incorporated in a better way to avoid this overload. Then, of course, the late start of the pilot, but this we could not avoid since the seasonality of the tourism sector, of course, has some implications. One of them is that vacation periods of companies also have had an impact on this start of the pilot. And on the other side, it had an impact in the time that the students were in the company, that in some cases were in the off season. And of course, this is not the same reality when they are in the high season. And of course that, well, the COVID pandemic, and about that I will not say anything else. So what we recommend really is from what we could evaluate, we think that increase the number of the hours spent in companies with a better conciliation between school and company can result in a better process. Then another issue that came out, and again, because the system was not structured in this way, was that students had expenses with transport to go.
Maria João, sorry.
Yes.
Could you please try to stick our schedule?
We are wasting time. This is my last slide.
Okay, thank you, Maria João. Thank you.
No problem. So this is, it's necessary also to think about this. And another thing that they said is that it is important to give detailed information to the students about the company before they go there. And also to take into account the dimension of the company, because of course that those that are in bigger companies, they have more possibilities of circulating in different areas than those that are in very small companies. But most of all, what we heard from everybody was that they wish very much the continuation of the project. So these are only two main conclusions, that this added value is undeniable, yeah, so of this system, and that the basis for a future dual model is really established. So this is what we had to say about our evaluation of the project. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria João, for your presentation. Always clear and relevant. Let's move on to the next moment of the day. Now we have a roundtable focusing on the critical role of cooperative learning for the development of soft skills, which will be moderated by Ana Teresa Oliveira, lecturer of Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo, and the roundtable that we have on that roundtable, Alberto Roca of the University of Girona, Marta Pietrasanta of the University of Bergamo, Petra Sturge of University of Split, Ole Senjuta from Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo, and Marie-Christine Gerken from DNH-BW Ravensburg. Thank you all. Ana Teresa, I give you the floor and pay attention to our schedule, please. Thank you.
That will not be a problem, Ricardo. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone. Nice to see you all. Thank you for being with us today here in this final conference. It is a great pleasure to be here. I'm a professor at Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo and also part of the Income Project. And I'm very delighted to be here
and presenting this theme that is the kickoff of the roundtables for the final conference. We have prepared a small video, and we will start this roundtable with this video. I will ask the team to put the video on, please, so we can start seeing the video. Thank you so much.
Some key features to make it more clear that we have here an institution and not an idea, a project idea to have competitive education. Yeah. So, like mentioned, it's a state-run higher education institution, and therefore it's quite still unique. This active cooperation between the partner companies and social institutions and industry and so on with the university, more or less with the Ministry of Higher Education, because it was launched by the companies, by the industry, together with the ministry, with the responsible Ministry for Higher Education. And therefore, the curricula, when we talk about contents then later on, the curricula what we offer, because each single student is studying together with a company, the curricula are always on behalf of the needed qualifications in the industry. Theory and praxis in 100%, like 6 times 12 weeks of intensive studies, normally in 3 month blocks, and then alternating with the terms in the workplace training in the companies.
How do you choose the company you would like to work in?
When I decided to study at the DHBW, I visited an information event in Ravensburg. There was a little fair where you could meet some companies, and the professors also presented their courses. After that, I chose my favorite companies from the list you can find on the website of the DHBW and applied to them. A few months later, I had some interviews and luckily got accepted by the Tourist Information in Ravensburg.
Now I would like to ask the German students, which task did they like most, or which task did they least like?
Which tasks were you commissioned in practical terms during your placement experience?
During your experience, what was your biggest challenge?
What I liked most was definitely the organizing of the actual stands and booths, and communicating and working with clients, because I love organizing and I like communicating and talking to people.
I was visiting or training in different departments.
In first place, I would like to know if you have problems managing the internship with the classes, and how do you manage your time, and what was the biggest challenge in this matter?
So how did that work for you? Was there a clear balance? Was it too mixed, too unstructured? What is your impression about it?
So, from my point of view, I think it was perfectly structured. So we always had 3 months studying, 3 months work, and then 3 months studying and 3 months work.
And I'm interested in your opinion. What would be 3 most useful soft skills that you practice and would be helpful in tourism management career?
Whether you could develop soft skills during your study time?
I think the right English word is self-consciousness. So that's of course a soft skill that I developed during the study, so especially at work.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the biggest advantages is that you learn to organize yourself. For example, when it comes to time management, you have to be precise in planning your studies. So that was one thing, and the other thing that was important for me are communicational aspects.
Are trained at university. Soft skills are trained in the practical phase while they are at the company, and in these projects or seminars where the two parts come close together.
What would you tell or name as one of the best experience you did for you as a person, as a young professional?
You know your competences, and that definitely helps you once you are done with your program and you do feel like, okay, I'm ready now to do the job.
If you are looking back, you would or you can agree on yes, this has been the right decision for you?
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely special experience, but I couldn't imagine to do normal studying. So yeah, absolutely a special experience, and from my point of view, the best I could have chosen.
And then, has the firm you work with ever used your ideas or advices in order to improve the efficiency of the company?
And I got the impression that we students are really important for the companies as well, because they can benefit from the theoretical knowledge we get when we study at university, and we profit from the practical skills we get when we work there.
And my question is if you receive any salary or compensation in a company.
To answer your question, we do receive a salary, and it ain't that much, but it really helps. And I think in my company it's a bit above the average income, so I'm really happy about that.
Did you get a job offer after your graduation from that company, from that dual partner?
Yes, actually I did. I worked there for 1.5 further years as a project manager.
During my studies and also during work at event agency Marbet, I always try to do the best job I could. So I also try to show them that I really want a job at this agency after graduating. Yeah, so, and they were the same opinion, so everything worked out for both sides in the end.
Well, thank you very much to the team, and we saw a glimpse, a video glimpse from the last webinar, the second webinar regarding students. And I will begin this roundtable that with these special guests. You are very special guests because you are the main focus of the project, the global project and the global goals that we all, this international team, are working on. So I think this is a very special roundtable, and I would like to begin by asking probably Marie if she can share a very simple thing that you mentioned on previous video, Marie, that was your gains with the system, the dual system, because we are debating a new cooperative model that is based on your experience, that should be enhanced and fostered all in the higher education. So can you just briefly share with us your personal gains?
Yes, absolutely. I think the video showed quite well that one massive gain is that you gain self-confidence, and that you feel once you're done with the program that you are ready for the job. I think a lot of other students will tell you once they're done with their studies, they still don't feel quite ready. So this is something special about the program. Another thing I want to point out is the network, which is very important, I feel, especially when you work in such a people's business as well. So for me personally, it helped me a lot to not just understand how my job works, but to understand a little bit better how the whole industry works. Personally, as you know, might know, I work in the event sector, and I have friends in all major exhibition companies all over Germany, for example. So if I might wonder sometimes, you know, when we face new challenges, oh, how would other exhibition companies tackle this challenge? And so it's always good to have someone in your telephone contacts and say, maybe I just give her a call. It was also quite nice to see the video, because there's some of my colleagues and friends that I studied with, and yeah, it's a very special program. But because of this, also it's very connecting, and the network really helps. Also, once you're done, and you still feel very connected and can always call someone when you have a question.
Okay, great, thank you. I will ask probably Ole now. We can make this a very common discussion, but probably because we are all virtually, right, just to keep things going. Because some of you were participants in the pilot, and all these issues were very new. And Ole, I was wondering, what were your main expectations? And then the pandemic, it was really hard. Can you share with us some of your initial expectations? And then probably some things about the process, gains or pains.
Well, when I first heard about the project, I thought, wow, okay, this is something I would really like to try. And so I just went for it. And what I expected was to, as I had no previous professional experience, I thought this would be a great opportunity to be in contact with the professional world for the first time. And so the expectations were to try to see myself as an actual employee of the company, so to say, while still learning and studying. And so, those were my expectations. And I think that the gains, like the confidence, the soft skills of trying to solve problems and talking everything out when it is needed, were very important in the process. And pains, I would say maybe, well, as it was the pilot, sometimes it could be a little bit confusing, but in the end we solved it all. So it was a great experience overall.
Great. Mariana, I was wondering, because what do you think about the main changes regarding the traditional system, you know, just entering this new model for education with a close cooperative learning with businesses? What do you think on this?
Well, for representative, all my partners from Girona, and for my classmates and all the people who told me about this experience, it's very interesting, because was like always studying and always do the theory, and you never know how is the real life as when you're on a practice, for sure. So for sure, this is a mindset to change everything. And when you are with the knowledge, you think, okay, I'm ready for this work, and I'm ready to do this task. But when you are on the real moment, or at the hotel or at the travel agency, you say, no, this is not when my teacher told me, because it's totally different. And for sure, I have to do and apply the soft skills, that is to know how to be with the guest, with the customer, all the practice, all this communication. And so for sure, this, for example, this pandemic spirit that changed all the way to work in there.
And I was wondering, with these challenges, Marta, what do you consider were your main achievements with this? With Marta, yes? You're muted, right? Okay. Are you able to unmute? No? Are you? I need, okay. I'll ask the team to unmute Marta. She's saying she doesn't have permission to unmute. Can you try again, Marta, please? No, you're muted. Okay, I'll ask Petra this question and then we'll go. Okay, you're out.
You're on, sorry.
So, wondering about your main achievements, Marta, with these differences. regarding the traditional system. What do you think on it?
Yeah, I was really happy to keep on studying and mixing that with a work experience. And I would say that this work experience in particular made me understand what I would like to do in the future. So it was really useful because studying and working together really makes your idea more clear about your role and also what you want to really use in a job situation. And so I'm really happy about it. And I would say that would be my best achievement. And also I also could communicate better with my colleagues and also I guess try to find a solution to the corona pandemic since it was it was a surprise for all of us, but we could get over it finally.
Yes, it was quite hard. It still is, right? I was wondering, Petra, what do you consider were the main soft skills that you developed? We heard on the video some of them, like decision making or time management. What were the soft skills that you consider, if you consider, of course, that you developed?
Yeah, so I think I learned how to manage my time between faculty obligations and practice. So it was really good. And communication skills in general. I learned how to talk to clients in challenging situations and stay calm and just mitigate every problem that occurred. And I transferred those skills to my everyday life. So I think I learned a lot.
Really? That's
yes.
Good. That's good. So based on the traditional system, Petra, what would be the learning outputs that you could enhance, that you could really think that were most relevant if you were on the traditional system? Probably.
I don't think I would learn communication skills, soft skills this much, because in traditional way we just sit and listen to professor, and here we had to do something. We had to communicate and express ourselves, and it's really different. That is better.
Okay. I was wondering about this current situation, the pandemic situation that we are living. And one of the things that Maria João and Goretti also mentioned, the employability and the need to develop these skills towards enhancing and fostering the competitiveness of the sector. And Marie, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name well. Sorry for that, but
that's all. Okay.
Okay. We didn't have the pleasure to be there personally to practice a little of German, but I was wondering about the current situation there. Can you share with us towards employability? Because we saw in the video that this system has strong links with employability and with businesses. And I was wondering if you can share with us your own perception of the role of this cooperative learning in the employability that we are now facing in this pandemic.
Yes. In general, I think this program has very high employability anyways, because the companies that decide to send their students to this program usually know that they're going to have a certain demand. So they, according to their demand, they send people to Ravensburg and make sure that they get the knowledge that they need. But obviously during Corona, everything was different. Just like in tourism, the events industry still is struggling very much. And yes, I have some friends who were in the situation of not knowing if they could keep their job, myself including. And some of them changed the employer. There were very, very few who really lost their jobs, because most of them either found a way to stay in the company, because the companies, once they already spend 3 years informing you, and also usually you spend different periods in different departments, so you know the whole company very well. This is a big advantage compared to other people who come from the outside world to this company. So they try to keep you most of the times. And if they can't, that brings me back to the network. Because you know a lot of people, and you just, we have WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups. And once a job comes up, it's in those groups. And we just kind of call, hey, I saw you, your company's looking, just let's have a chat about it. And then you still go the official way, obviously, but it helps enormously. And the companies know, most of them offering the same, this same program. They know your background, so they know what you can do and what you're capable of, and they quite like that. So yeah, I was quite surprised actually that none of my friends, even though some of them might have been unemployed for 2 or 3 months, but there was no big issue whatsoever. And most of them were just really scared. But in the end of the day, it worked out really fine due to their network and their professional experience in the young age even.
That's good. That's great. I will ask probably Mariana also to share what's the status regarding employability, Mariana, there, and what do you think is the role for cooperative learning towards enhancing this employability in the sector? What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? What is the situation there?
Well, in talking about the pandemic situation and the employability, I think for tourism and accommodation was really hard because everything for sure stopped. So we already saw the light in this moment, but for sure we have to close the doors and we have to work only inside. So this was hard to see like the hope to when we are going to start again, when we are going to work again with all the team, because I think this was the most important, to know how to work with a team, because tourism is working in team, and then with the pandemic situation now is the individually and learning how to work in teams by online. So I think this was a great goal and a great this difficult thing to know and to learn, even to soft skills and communication, how to work by teams, but now online, not to real life or to outside. I think for this employability is pretty necessary to know how is this, because I think we will have these situations, hopefully not, but we will have again in future moments.
Thank you. Marta, what are your thoughts on this? Can you share with us the current situation regarding employability, and what do you think about do you think that this cooperative learning with business can improve students' employability in this pandemic?
Yeah, I think so. For example, the company I worked in was really wanted me to stay and was trying to give me like a work education. The problem with Corona and COVID is that they are not working like since a year now, and so they are on layoff, and so they work just few days, probably a month, and that's why there are no employability opportunities currently. But nevertheless, it's still a contact which we still have. We're still in contact, and then maybe after the summer and when COVID would be away, maybe there will be opportunities. So I think it depends on the regulation of each country. But yeah, the project is helpful to create this contact between students and companies.
Okay, thank you. Ole, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that in this or in the next pandemic, just being more close with business can enhance your employability? Can you share with us your thoughts on this?
Well, let's hope that there is not another pandemic in the meanwhile, because that would be very hard. But I think that as in Portugal terms, it would be very important to adopt this dual system, not only in the tourism area, but in every single one if possible, because as students are in contact with the companies and they can put to practice their knowledge, it gets much easier to be more willing to work and be more enthusiastic about what you're doing, because you already have that, even if small, you have some experience in the field, and even that is a huge help in working or finding a job.
Petra, do you agree with Orle, or do you have a different position?
I agree with him. I think there should be more practical works. Studying everywhere, because it's crucial for later employment. So
yes, and today we had a different webinar in this morning, and our German colleagues presented some interesting practice orientation that were based on creativity. Petra, do you think that this cooperative learning enhances enhanced your creativity? You're willing to think outside the main directions?
I think it does. Maybe it depends on where you work, where you do your practical work. But if you have to be creative when problem comes. So you're working on creativity like that. So
yes, in this pandemic, we really had to be creative and try to.
Here, many businesses closed because of it. So people had to be creative. So.
What is the current situation there, Petra? Can you share with us? Regarding employability, are businesses just beginning to?
Yeah, everything is starting to open, but slowly. Hotel where I worked is, I think, working on half of. Not every room is available for rent, because it doesn't make sense, because there are not so many tourists. And I don't know, I think everything is slowly getting back to normal, but we will see. I hope it continues.
Okay, we all expect that, right? Just getting back to Marie again, I was wondering, does your current module satisfy, do you think, thinking on your experience and now as an experienced alumna, right, and professional, do you think that this current model satisfies students' needs and expectations, both at a personal and a professional level? Because it's really hard at this moment to engage students in motivating them in higher education and developing skills, as we are debating. What do you think this model could bring or will bring? We will work on this, right?
So I think that I'm not quite sure if I got your question
right. Needs and expectations from the students.
Okay, yeah. So I think that in general, the dual system, or this, the program that we are doing in Ravensburg is a rather is different. Students who do this program have different expectations from students who do a normal study course. I think that is very clear.
Can you share that with us, Marie?
Absolutely, because I mean, when you think of a normal, student, I don't want to say normal, but stereotype. Let's just say stereotype student.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them want to have a lot of freedom as well, a lot of free time, and that's great too, because it's the time where you develop. You have the time to try something new as well. You might try a new hobby. You might try new sports, something like this. You spend some more time making friends. Going partying, we still go partying in Ravensburg quite a lot though, but I think it is clear though that when you do this program, you are very curious about the workplace and you really want to spend some time there as well, and you want to get this knowledge while you're studying. And yes, you have less time, obviously, to spare for your free time, but the experience I made, and I didn't think it would be like this, was that in Ravensburg, because we all do the same program, once we are back together in Ravensburg, it's like family coming back together. There's many happy moments, and we try to really make the best out of it. And when we come to the phase where it's about preparing for tests and everything and exams, then we really stick together as a team as well and help each other out. And yes, spend quite a few hours also together, just, working and learning. And then during the practical time period, we don't see each other for 3 months. And then when we come back again, we're really happy. So I think this is, it's important to manage those expectations before you start, to know that time management will be very important, that you are not as free, that you have a limited time of free time, and that you need to be very aware of that. And another point is, rather than finding it stressful to move every 3 months, I mean, if you live in the area, you might not have to move, but most of us actually moved every 3 months. So that's in 3 years, 12 times. That's what I did. So you have to be aware of that. But again, you move between 2 spaces. And in Ravensburg, it's the system is completely working like that. It's hard to get a flat share for more than 3 months, because it's really everybody kind of lives in this 3 months system. But then at the time when you're working, it's also important to kind of find a way to build up your social network there and keep it alive while you're not there because you're studying. So I think that's a challenge that also, it's there, it needs to be addressed, but absolutely doable.
Thank you. Mariana, what do you think on this? This need to, I was wondering, do you think students need to adapt? Because sometimes I wonder, we all, teachers and students and everyone, can be very comfortable with lectures, just some theoretical points, and students get notes and study, and they don't need to move. They don't need to move every 3 months, or of course, to enhance these skills and have all these time arrangements that we had in the pilot, right? It was hard to manage all these issues. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think students also need to reinforce their skills, their motivation?
Yes, I think so, because it's part to first to growing up, and second, because we need to, as you said before, to think outside the box, to think different. And if we want to improve our skills and to set of goals and maybe have better jobs or go outside of different countries, I think yes, we have to adapt and to start to thinking a little bit more, not only stay in the same situation, in the traditionalities stuff. I think yes, we also need to reinforce this.
Ole, you already mentioned that it would be good to have a cooperative learning system in higher education in amongst different courses. What can we do more? Do you have any suggestions that we can think on this? What we can do more? Or what can
I think,
yes.
I think, yes. Maybe to not only get indeed to the practice, maybe make I don't know, like tiny workshops to know how to work in different types, not only accommodation or travel agency. Maybe, I don't know, we are on different age. So maybe on marketing digital tourism, or how to manage, for example, this type of projects, or the research maybe will be kind of, I don't know, more fun, I don't know. But yes, maybe more active, the things, yes. The theoretical is good, but I think so it's great to be this type of cooperative things. And yes, to different countries, I think it's really improved for us.
Thanks, Ole. What are your thoughts on this, Ole?
Well, my thoughts on this is if we keep the, so to say, normal way of studying, to implement more real cases to study, and to so students can be more involved, because if it's something that exists and is real and that students can change it, so to say, it helps them a lot in studying and having knowledge and being able to deal with more real situations later in their lives.
Thank you. Just wrapping up, because we are 3 minutes wrapping up. Marta, do you think the future is based on cooperative learning? This is a hard question for 1.5 minutes.
The hardest one. I think, like as Ole said, it's important to also study case studies. So that's a type of cooperative learning already. So it's not necessary to be in a company to study how to be in a company or to work and all the tasks. And so I think it's really important. But at the same time, I also believe that there is a time for each thing. And so you can first be a student and then have this middle period of cooperative learning and then become a worker. I think that would be great.
Great, Marta. Petra, if you were entering this moment university again, would you prefer a cooperative model or a standard one?
Well, I don't know, because maybe it would be cooperative, because I like practice. I like everything that I can see, because I learn better that way. So in traditional way, I don't really like the sitting and listening part.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if everyone wants to say something. I would like to thank you, everyone, every single one of you, for the wonderful roundtable. It was great to hear your thoughts and experiences based on this practice, on this cooperative model. And I would like to thank you very much for your time. Thanking to our listeners, and getting back to Ricardo. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank to all the speakers in this first moment of our final conference. I invite all the participants to take a short 10 minutes break. Under normal circumstances, it will be our coffee break. So imagine that we are all together and we will be back shortly for a second part of this conference, which you will not want to miss. We will present a good practice of cooperative learning and follow it by a debate with representatives of tourism companies. All good reasons to stay on that side. See you soon. 10 minutes, please. Hello again. We are back for the second part of the first day of the conference. In this second moment, we will address the benefits of tourism businesses' involvement in cooperative learning with moderation of Andrea Pozzi, University of Bergamo, and Paolo Bertagni. Good afternoon, Andrea and Paolo. I give you the floor.
Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you for the audio. Good morning, good afternoon, and warmly welcome all to the session, The Benefits of Tourism Businesses Involvement in Cooperative Learning. First of all, I would like to thank all our panelists, Antonio Vasquez San Martin, Head of Marketing of Hotel Management School of Galicia, Nuno Barbosa Vive Experiencia, Associated Partner of Polytechnic Institute of Viana do Castelo, Ivona Mikelic Karabatic, LCT Travel, Associated Partner of University of Split, Paul Fares, Turismon, Associated Partner of University of Girona, Katarzyna Warhol, Westin Dragonara Resort Malta, Associate Partner of University of Malta, and Nicola De Torino, TH Resort Courmayeur, Associate Partner of University of Bergamo. Sorry if I make mistake with my pronouncing your names. This session aims to show the benefits coming from adopting a model based on a cooperative learning. We will start with a good practice, then starting the debate with our panelists. I leave the speech to Antonio Vasquez San Martin, Head of Marketing of Hotel Management School of Galicia, and this education in tourism with a modus operandi similar to dual education will adopt the dual brand starting next academic year. The video is yours, Antonio.
Thank you, Paolo. I have prepared a presentation for this session. I don't know if you would like to see or not. I mean, I don't know if everybody's familiar with the topic we're seeing today. And I will start with the presentation anyway, so see how it goes, and then we'll see on the debate afterwards. Okay, let me share the screen. Bear with me. If you see if desktop 1, 2, I think it is. I'm not familiar with Zoom here because we're using Teams. We're using many tools. Hold on a sec. Slide only. Oh. Step 2, see if it goes like this. Can you see? I think I got a bit of an issue with the presentation. Let's see how you can see my screen now. Oh. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do a quick export. See if it goes. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to get the screen. So if
Antonio, ¿necesita de ayuda de nuestra parte?
I think I got because I think the Zoom is asking me for preferences. Hold on, I'm just trying to get my. Can you see my screen? Can you? No, I think you don't see my screen, right?
Not yet.
Can you see my screen at all?
No, not yet.
Not yet, because I'm supposed to be sharing the screen. Hold on, let's see now. It's asking me for system preferences. I think some sort of an issue here with the permits of the, I think it is now. I think I have to quit and reopen. Hold on for me. Hold on, I just had to leave now and I come back.
Vamos aguardar só uns segundos. Let's wait just a few minutes. Meanwhile, Antonio is restarting.
Right, okay. So well, let's try again. Sorry about that. So see if it's a question of, because I've just installed Zoom in my computer and it doesn't let me to share the screen. Now I think it is like that, and now it's working, I think. Right. Yeah. Can you see the screen right now? Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Right, great. So now just to play, that doesn't work. So for some reason doesn't well, put it in okay, right. So it doesn't let me to play the screen, but you can see the building, one of the buildings of the school. Can you see my screen, right? Right, so I'm Antonio Vázquez. I'm the head of marketing of the Centro Superior de Hostelería de Galicia. The topic today, I did some sort of research because I'm not familiar with the cooperative learning as it is, as the name. So just what I found on some of the research papers, cooperative learning says that it takes place when I'm with members of a small group of work together to maximize not only their individual learning, but also the learning of the other members of the group. But I found another definition which relates to cooperative education, which is a structured method of combining classroom-based education with practical work experience. So as I understand, cooperative education, theory and practice goes intertwined, so goes very linked. Yeah, but our school programs are based on that principle of learning. So it's the principle of learning in two places, which is and in two sources, one practical and one theory. I say two sources because the school provides the students with both academic and practical qualifications, and a hospitality company complements that with practical qualifications. So there are two sources and two places, right? So we have successfully implemented this type of learning for more than 26 years in a higher education environment. But let me first introduce who is the Hotel Management School of Galicia, or how is known in Spain, Centro Superior de Hostelería de Galicia. So if I just pass the next slide, so I can move that. Sorry about that, because it's a bit of a, doesn't move. Nice one. Okay, so a bit of history about the school. So our curriculum combines higher education, and on-the-job training at more than 50 partner companies, aiming to provide with both academic skills, work-related expertise, and above all, softer skills, enriching the personal development of our students and graduates. For us, workplace learning is considered the key for an effective strategy for the development of vocational and career and professional identity of our graduates. The Hotel Management School of Galicia, as a project, started in 1993, so it's 26 years ago, as a solution to the needs that the hospitality industry had regarding qualified hotel and restaurant managers. For this, the regional government of Galicia, the Xunta de Galicia, developed an ambitious project to train future professionals through the company in charge of the promotion of the tourism in Galicia. And that name of the company of the name was Tour Galicia at the time. Now is the Tourism Board of Galicia. The school is located in Santiago de Compostela, a cozy and warm UNESCO World Heritage Site or city in northwest Spain, just above Portugal, which has received and receives millions of international visitors and pilgrims every year. As a home of the remains of St. James is also the end of the Way of St. James. This environment makes the city a very competitive place for the hospitality business, with many top-rated hotels and restaurants in a city with less than 100,000 people. So the idea was to create a prestigious school with the best results and the most efficient methodology. To achieve this, the project had the support of the University of Santiago de Compostela and the L'École Hôtelière de Lausanne. The SUSE school designed the study plan, course methodology, buildings and distribution of classrooms, and the selection of our teaching personnel. 50,000 square meter campus with existing 5 buildings was refurbished to the needs and specific requirements of the project. With a good share of working abroad and good career prospects, since the first graduation, more than 3,000 graduates had been experienced this school, either as a way of life and also as the beginning of their careers. So, but what we teach? Currently, we have 2 degrees. One is a 2-year degree, a culinary science and restaurant management, and a 4-year degree related to the hotel management. I will explain the detail, which is the one we have in the slide. The 4-year degree, as it has been over the years, it reflects the most the process of using theory and practice together with internships. The thing is, next year, this degree will fully comply with the Bologna standards, making it an official degree in Spain. At the moment, it's a degree linked to the University of Santiago de Compostela, only recognized as university degree in Spain. But afterwards, we hope that this will move on to the all European standards, and so we can have all this connection with other universities. As I said, it's a 4-year degree, which is the most common and where most of our students are. For this degree, the applicants to this program need to pass an assessment test and an interview, plus comply with all the high school qualifications required to get access to the university in Spain, if they finally want to get enrolled. So, focus on our methodology. In a nutshell, the hotel management degree is a 4-year university-like bachelor. The first 2 years, which is combining alternates. Sorry, 1 week, which is in blue, and another week in green. So it combines theory and practice, following a 3-month internship. This is for the first 2 years in the course, on the program. The last 2 years, the theory is combined with essays and works and longer internships, topping up to 16 months in duration of the internships in total. A dissertation is also necessary to finish the degree as required. So, but how it works. Since the start of the semester at the Hotel Management of a School campus, the student alternates week of theory and 1 week of practice. Our students from day one participate in all academic and practical activities in their business or practical role attire. So using there's a dress code. Whether it's he or she is in the cafeteria, service uniform provided by the school is used, and it has to be worn at all times. At the restaurant, kitchens, professional grade uniforms and utensils are also provided by the school. At theory classes, business dress code is strictly required. Suits for male students and dresses, trousers or skirts or jackets for female students. No need to mention that some visible tattoos and piercing are forbidden. The reason behind this, we try to embody the hospitality spirit and the values that represent the business the business our students will manage, or we aim to manage. We know that the hospitality industry is a dynamic and changing world with new products and brands that disrupt this image every day. But at the moment, we try to imprint these values into our students. And this is also part of our brand and how we are known. We also set a rule book, not only for appearance, but for behavior. Customer service is at the core of the hospitality business. The way you talk or dress to your teachers or peers requires a formal name. In Spanish, we have the case of usted. It's a more formal way to address people. So that's what we try to use. That's what we try to use. In terms of subjects, in the first year, we have operations for food and service operations, food and beverage, service, wine science, alcoholic beverages, culinary practices, culinary theory, management and control of food and beverage, and also the internships, together with languages, management subjects, computer science, etc. No? The second year, we move from the food and beverage and service to everything related to rooms division. So housekeeping, reception, all the subjects, together with more languages, English and German or French as optional, together with statistics, law, marketing, as I said, or subjects related to more like business and administration degree. The third and the fourth year, instead of focusing into the more practice subjects, we move to the management side. The management side in terms of managing departments and general management. So we're trying to work on team building, essays, dissertations, and we move the focus to those subjects and knowledge. So we leave the practical side of hands-on practice to the more managing side of things. So following the degree or the course, move to the theory part. The theory subjects are largely developed in the main building. So if we think of the campus as a big simulator, so we have a main building with the standard classrooms with desk and touchscreen boards, ITC and language labs are also used. Currently, we have classrooms that hold no more than 15 students per class, so they're very small. Hotel reception classrooms, wine tasting labs, multipurpose and kitchen demonstration classrooms complete the theory setup. In terms of practice, we have to distinguish between on-campus practice and internships or work placements. On campus, I think this, together with internships, is what makes the school unique from for the rest of the universities and faculties. We have to think in Spain, schools like this, like our school, there are 3 or 4 capable of providing degrees in hotel management, as with the practice and theory combined. So for that purpose, we have 2 fully working restaurants, a hotel with 10 rooms, a laundry, and a bar cafeteria. In all, this is a big simulator, as I say, where students are exposed to food handling processes. They have to liaise with providers and restaurant customers on a number of occasions. Classes are organized by alternating them with the theory classes in shifts, so in rotas. First-year students have shifts or rotations where they spend a couple of weeks throughout the semester, for example, in the cafeteria, learning all the services, operations, and bar practices. They also spend time at the restaurants, kitchens, preparing food, preparing banqueting, events, etc. Restaurant etiquette services also. This is a cross-disciplinary approach, as this hands-on practice or classes, sessions are also supported by what they learned the week before in the theory sessions. Groups generally are made of up to 4 students, so they enjoy a very exclusive and personalized teaching. This is for many a key moment or a moment of truth, as most of our students do not have previous work or customer-facing experience. Students this way develop a personal and a job-related competencies that are useful for daily work routines, and at the same time they acquire theoretical knowledge and a controlled workspace, so they have a safety net. The practice sessions are designed as real-life situations, and the objective is twofold. Firstly, the student familiar with the standard industry practice. Firstly, we get the student familiar with the standard industry practices and procedures. Secondly, from the management perspective, we introduce the student into tasks that require managing a team and being part of a team, where they can see the end result of the job assigned to do and his success rate, or he or her success rate. Here, the students starts building and realizing these emotional intelligence skills required to develop this kind of job, that it will be part of their valuable set of tools that they will take with him or her to the work placements or internships.
Antonio, my apologies. Can you, it's quite unfair for me, but can you speed up your...
Okay, sure.
We have precise timing to respect.
Okay, sorry about that. It's just sorry about the delay. Okay, I'm moving to the internships. The work placements, because every student have an assignment. The aim is to increase the motivation of the students. Companies are invited to or asked to present the business activity and the training plan for all the students. And students are required to attend these presentations, given by hotel managers or human resources staff. This way, the students get to know the companies and have the necessary information to validate them all. We make this assignment in terms of, we provide the students with these companies in terms of the student's academic and personal profile, the preferences of the student, the profile demanded by the company. And then the students, they get to choose in some of the occasions where they're going to do the work placements. Generally, the work placements are related to the work experience they receive at the school and the knowledge they got at the school. So the first and second year, they're more operations related, and the third and fourth year are more related to management. Also, the evaluation of the student is made by either a tutor, which is assigned to the student, and by the company at the end of the internship program. So they combine the assessment. Also, the students, by the end of the degree, they have to do a dissertation or a final project. And just to end as the time is near, This approach across the 4-year span of the program allows the student to obtain knowledge and competence in class sessions that they can apply immediately in practice. So it's something they take with them every year. So, and they discuss this with other students and obviously with the teachers. So I think they make the classes and the sessions the richer and the more up to date. Conversely, knowledge gained in the workplace is discussed in class, reflected upon and used as a main match for the theory. This will enable graduates with business and operations knowledge to connect and quickly take the responsibilities in any company they are hired. So is that this experience and this whatever they gain in the internships is a 16-month experience. They already get connected to any job position they will take or they apply for, because they already know the place. They used to work in the reception. They used to work at a bar, cafeteria, doing service operations and managing departments, or even being part of the management team, top management team of a hotel, for example, or being a general manager. Yeah, I have more, but if you want to discuss that in the round table, I'm open to questions. Yes, I'm aware of already surpassed the timing. It's supposed to be 15 minutes. I'm apologize for that. And well, I'm open to questions, which I guess there'll be some. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Paolo.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you for such interesting example and interesting figures. Quite different from the ones I'm going to tell you later. Anyway, this example which surely be of inspiration to our forthcoming roundtable. Today, we want to imagine what the future could hold for us by managing to adopt the dual system in each single nation, making it an integral part of university and business collaboration. This roundtable sees the participation of companies representing the 5 states of the project. And in the first part that will be moderated by me, we will focus on the current situation, if the model works and helps students to easily access to the working world. The second part will be moderated by Andrea Pozzi from University of Bergamo, and will be more focused on the future. We would like to show what is the situation of the companies and which, in a perspective long-term view, could be the positive and negative key factors to ensure this dual system of collaboration does not remain just a pilot test, but becomes a generalized process adopted by the whole country system. But allow me to start introducing the first part with some key facts from Italy. In my country, about 63% of all graduates participate in an internship, but of those who participate in an internship, only 12% find work in the host company. Of course, I may say that these data refer to all academic courses and not specifically only in tourism. And the traineeship are not compulsory in each bachelor and master degree course. There are many good examples in Italy, especially in tourism courses, where university and companies work together as to better satisfy the need of both and of students. University of Bergamo, Income Partner, is one of them. However, the data I previously presented show the need of further pushing a cooperative model from a broader perspective of creating a framework that helps both university and companies to work together. So let's start our roundtable and hear the 2 questions for the panelists. Can students in your countries easily find occupation after being graduated? And do the current model satisfy the need of the companies of something more is required? The first panelist is Paul. The share is yours. The screen, sorry.
Thank you so much. Actually, also I was participating in the income and with an intern from our university, Girona, and I consider that, of course, since in our country, Spain and Catalonia and Girona region, the gross profit during tourism is 13%, so we are focused only in the tourist business and tourist service. They have a lot of opportunities, and not only in the accommodation, transportation, restaurants or travel agencies. No, other companies related directly or indirectly with the tourism business. So they have a lot of opportunities, and the studies of tourism, they give a range, no, and a holistic view for this. Concerning the relationship between universities and companies, I think that I love the dual model in Germany, no? But here in our universities are more in the classical way, and I think that they need to include more the companies and the private view, no, in order to explain the real professional life to the students, because sometimes the real life, it only comes from an academic view and don't match with the needs from different companies and different sectors, no? And also to learn that the hotel and the tourism industry is not only hotels, restaurants, travel agencies, and airlines. It's more than this, no? And it's all about people. So we need to know and to explain more and better about the people. But they continue and they will continue to have opportunities, and the new opportunities, the new trends, and the new thoughts and also knowledge that we need to give to our students in order to be better for the new life and the post-pandemic and the post-COVID reality. No, I don't know. I don't want to give more time, and thank you for this opportunity to share with you 2 minutes thoughts.
Thank you very much, Paul. I pass the screen and the microphone to Nuno Barbosa.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And well, the experience I have to share is basically Vive Experiencia as a close relationship with the institution, in this case, IPVC. We have many projects that we try to integrate and we develop with the institution because our enterprise also comes from a project that was developed inside of the institution. Then I don't know if you already want me to develop all the question that is followed.
Yeah, sorry. The first question.
Yes.
Yeah, well, can the students in your country easily find occupation after being graduated? And the second one, if this model satisfy, or you need the company needs some more to get better results.
Okay, according to that, the students in the area of tourism, that it's what we are related, when they graduate, they easily find they are integrated easily in the market. Of course, now this year is an exceptional year that we are facing this pandemic crisis, and that became a big problem a little bit for that and the students of tourism particularly. But normally they find easily the integration in the market. And then there are some things always that can be developed, but this model is very interesting because allows the experience of a professional way for the students, and also allows the companies to have contact with the mindset and way of thinking of students, and also integrate like that some new strategies in order to line up the enterprise way of working with this mindset that the new generations have. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot, Nuno. Now we should have Ivona, but we just had news that she had yesterday the vaccine. She is running high fever, so she cannot attend this event, unfortunately. So I can give you Katarzyna the screen and let us know what you think about the question, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Very well. So thank you very much, Paolo, for the opportunity to speak up, for opportunity to be here. The first question, of course, I do represent the tiny island of Malta, the island which is very much based on tourism, which I would very much agree with Paul. We also have many opportunities in the tourism sector, more and more hotels, hostels, and tourism and businesses opening up. So the opportunities are out there, especially in the current situation. Even though it did limit some opportunities, it created new ones as well, as I can see from our hotel, for example. Now, having said that, I still remember myself as a fresh graduate looking for those opportunities to step into the career within the field, and having those opportunities a little bit out of reach for me because of limited experience, because of limited skills. So this is where this project can really, really support us in removing those skills shortages, which are so much needed in the hospitality world. Now, question number 2, do the current models satisfy needs, or can something be done better? I really believe that it is a great start. So the fact that we started thinking about aligning both of the academic perspective on the learning and the workplace learning can have a great effect. And this is also something which Paul mentioned, that whilst we have certain technology and know-how which differs from one company to another, we also have skills and competencies which can be transferable. And those skills, if we work on them together, can not only help the student to enter the workplace, but also it can set him up for a more successful career. This is how we see it from our perspective. So it is a great start, and I think we should simply continue with that cooperation and with that involvement of 3 parties, of a student, university, and the company as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Katarzyna. Now we give the screen to Nicola de Torino. I thank you very much, Nicola. You know you have to speed up the reopening of your hotel, so you have a lot of things to do. Thanks a lot to be here with us.
Hi everyone, thank you, Paolo. First of all, let me just say that let me just present you TH Resort, what mean in Italy. TH Resort is the largest Italian hotel chain in terms of number of rooms, and the group that has grown the most over the past 5 years. In these last 5 years, we passed from 9 hotels to 30 hotel, and we have a total of room of 4,814. So, to answer for the first question, as Mr. Bertani said, in Italy, unfortunately, even if you have a degree, it is not always easy to find work in the hotel and industry, but in general. It often happens that even if you have a degree, when you find a job, you are forced to start from the bottom step. like people who don't have a degree. Then normally, people with a degree can climb the step faster, but the starting point is the same for everyone. To answer the second question, let me say that for the experience that I have had with the guys that I have had the pleasure to meet, for sure, yes, the current model satisfies my need and those of my company. The only thing that should be improved, let me say, would be simply to have more of this guy and for a longer period in a greater number. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicola. So this first part of the roundtable is finished. Thank you very much. And now I give you, Andrea, the screen, and so for the second part of the roundtable.
Okay, thank you, Paolo. Thank you to all our panelists. Let's move to the second part. I will try to be strict and be precise in timing because we have 20 minutes. So we will focus more in the second part to the perspective of the dual model, to the cooperative model. So I would like to ask you, as we did before, 2 questions. The first one is, if you have a closer relationship with universities, and do you think it should be improved, and how? I mean, what can be the benefits from improving this relationship? And specifically, the second question is about in what area of your company do you think that the cooperative learning can be more beneficial, and why? I will start, of course, with Paul, and I want to thank you very much for your participation because I know that you have a strong commitment just after this meeting, so I'll leave you immediately the speech. Thank you very much also for participating.
Thank you. Well, I think that, and I put in the chat that the income model is a great opportunity, no? And we need to develop more. First, the relationship within the university, I think that we need to do more field trips and go out from the class and go more to the companies and do the class inside the companies. All right. So we need to merge and to do an immersion, no, to the private companies. For example, well, the sales and marketing, how to sell a product, no, how to become a salesman, a saleswoman, a sales people, no, more in the reality, no, to participate actively in a trade show, in a workshop, no. This is the best practice, I think, that we can adapt our adapt the practice with the students, no, so they can go together with the sales director in a workshop and look how they do. I think that we need to increase better, and we have great experience in Europe and in different universities. And I was said the same. I had the opportunity to meet the people from Ravensburg, and I think that this kind of university and this kind of dual and include the companies and the private sector in the university model, it's the great one. Of course, some of the academics will hit me if we're presentially, but thanks Zoom, that will not happen. Thank you so much, and I'm very, very, very sorry, but I have I'm also president of the Chamber of Commerce, and I have a very important institutional commitment right now in our government, and I need to quit. So I will love to be here, and I hope that we'll see each other again, like the last time was in Malta, and I hope that next time probably will be in another country. Thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Paolo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicola, Katrina, Nuno. See you. Thank you.
your valuable intervention. So I'll leave the speech to Nuno. The same question, and also if you agree with what have been said by Paul about improving relationship with field trips, go out for university, creating workshops. So there's a need to improve, to push further this cooperation, and especially maybe in what area of your company can this relation can be improved and can create more benefits.
Okay, I was trying to activate. Well, I agree with what was said before, and I think it is very important that players to meet each other and to give the chance for the students also to be within the processes. Here in this case, particularly of income tourism, there was a tutor. In this case, it was me going with the students that were participating here in the company with some very specific activities. It was basically the management of the social network of the company, and then also in the preparation of some tourism animation activities. I think this model has a very particular importance either for the students as for the companies, as I said before, because when we are working with someone that still is preparing itself in the academic world, there are just lots of academic theoretics and studies, and that in somehow will influence also the development of when we put it in practice, and then we follow monitoring all the activities. So the only thing I have to say is that we should go on towards this model developing. And in this case, it would have been very interesting if it was not the experience of these internships during the low season, because I believe that if it was in a higher season, that could become even more interesting for the company and for the students and the institutions. That's my opinion.
Perfect. Some problems also to me with the audio. Thank you very much, Nuno. Okay, let's move to Katarzyna, so the reality of Marta. So what is your opinion about the perspective and what can we improve this relationship? And of course, we move into different sectors, subfile. We are talking about hotel. And so we would like to have also your view.
Yes, of course. So definitely I do agree with the gentleman before me in terms of whether we do already have a relationship with the university. For myself, that was the very first time I had been involved through some sort of cooperation with the local university through that income pilot project. However, as a hotel, I know that there have been many projects and many initiatives where we had either supported or reached out to the university in order to be closer to students. I think this is something which should continue. That's a great opportunity for us to start speaking also about different ways on how can we get involved. This year learned us to be very innovative, and I'm sure there can be an innovative ways on how we can implement case studies or practical assessments within the academic world, and on the other hand, show the students as well as academic tutors what's the reality, right? So what are the workplace requirements? And on the other hand, we can also learn from each other. So the academics and the workplace on the job trainers or managers can actually learn how to best together develop those future leaders, right? Because we are speaking about developing the managers, the leaders of the future. So definitely there's a scope for more cooperation. The second question, I believe it referred to which areas of the organization this project can be the most beneficial in. We had an opportunity to welcome only one student to join our team, and that was in our operational department in the rooms division. Now I really feel that both operational side of the hotel as well as administration, and so project or experience in both can bring a lot of value. As a hotel, we've seen many different projects which we haven't done before, related to marketing, related to employer branding, to employee experience, as well as those based on the interactions with the guests. So I believe here it would depend very much on the student, which of the areas he would see himself developing and growing in and mastering the skills. Both sections, I think, have something to offer and something to gain for the student. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Now I can speak and you can hear me. Thank you very much, Katarzyna. Let's move finally to Italy with Nicola. So if you want to give your opinion, starting also from your experience and also the context and you are operating, which is Italy.
So, as Caterina, I personally don't have a relation with the university normally. This is the first time. This aspect is handled by the Human Resource Office, but it can certainly be improved and expanded. Normally in Italy, the internship are people who are not finished yet the high school. So these people, most of the time, have a maturity, a desire to work and a desire to get involved, completely different compared to a person who is finishing university. So for this reason, should be improved and expanded. About the second question, the main benefit of a cooperative system are manifold. In this particular case, for example, they give to a company the opportunity with a certain maturity and a high level of education at almost cost zero for the company. This allows easily to match job supply and demand, which is not always easy in Italy for tax costs in general and legal constraints. About in what area of my company do you think that the corporate learning can be more beneficial? Well, for sure, in area like booking office, reception in general, Congress and banqueting, and public relations department, because in this department are in particular area of the hotel industry, you need a good knowledge of language and a certain predisposition for the problem solving. All this found in people that I had through this project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Nicola. And thank you very, very much to all of our panelists for your contribution. And of course, also for the presentation. Let me, Ricardo, just 2 minutes to conclude.
Thank you so much, Andrea.
This speech, we're trying to improve also our soft skill time management. So we are, of course, in the Income Tourist project. I think that all contribution and all the view from the countries that we have today has been very, very interesting. I just want only to reinforce the message that comes from the various contributions, that the perspective will see a stronger collaboration, and the Income Tourist project has started and given the opportunity to all of us to improve the relationship. And I found very, very interesting what emerges from Paul and also the others, that this relationship may have the may take the form of field trips, going out from the university, workshop, so practical involvement of students, but also the tutors in the university in the activity of the companies. I think that, and this is what I found very, very interesting from all the contribution. I conclude myself and leave you the speech, Ricardo, and I thank all the panelists and also Paola again for their contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Paolo, for your contribution. We are nearing the end of this first day of Income Tourism Project Final Conference. We hope that you enjoy this first day. I would like to thank to all moderators, speakers, and participants. I also invite everyone who attend this first day to join us tomorrow for another day that promises to surprise you. So I hope to be able to count on you tomorrow at 11 a.m. European time, 10 a.m. in Portugal. See you tomorrow. Until then, it was a pleasure to have you here on that side. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.